Hey everyone, my name is Alexis Martin, and welcome to day 5 of Orientation Week. We've had such an awesome week so far, and you can check out all the past sessions at orientationweek.hercampus.com. We want to see how you participated in Orientation Week as well, so be sure to share a picture using the hashtag OrientationWeek21. Today, I'm joined by Des, Kira, Lauren, and Youssef, who are members of our Her Campus community, and we'll be discussing how to carve out time for your passions. So without further ado, I'll now pass the mic to our incredible panelists who will introduce themselves and their side hustles.
Hi, my name is Des Smith, and I am a style and lifestyle blogger on Instagram and on TikTok. I actually graduated from Wilmington University this year, back in March, and I started content creating while I was in college. So, like my first year around the second half of my first year around 2018.
Hi, everyone. First of all, thank you so much for having me. I'm so honored and excited to be here. I'm Kira. I'm currently a senior at Syracuse University studying magazine journalism with a concentration in fashion. And today I'm really excited to be telling you about my side hustle, which is a custom loungewear small business, which I started back in March of 2020, when my sophomore year was cut short from the pandemic. I knew I needed a creative outlet, so Kira Couture was born, and I can show you some of my pieces. So I make pretty much like tie-dye. I use patchwork and different graphics, and I just like to make super fun and whimsical pieces to make me happy and others happy. So yeah, I'm super excited to share and to learn more about everyone else's side hustle.
Love it so much. Hi, everyone. My name is Lauren, and I'm a senior at the Fashion Institute of Technology. So in addition to going to school, extracurriculars, interning and working, I have my own small jewelry business called Lorehead's Handmade Jewelry. Everything is handmade and designed by me, and everything is very colorful, fun, groovy, and everything is beaded. I'm wearing some rings and some necklaces and earrings now. So I started this project a little over a year ago during quarantine. Got to do something to fill your time, get creative. And I really started it because it's a fun creative outlet, and also it's a chance for me to gain some business and entrepreneurial skills.
Go off, legends. Hey, everyone. I'm Youssef. I'm a second year at the University of Chicago. And essentially, also during quarantine, I built a student-led higher education platform where I share resources, opportunities, and talk everything college. Essentially, I founded Youssef University, which is me sharing my experience throughout university, as well as just the quirky and cool things about college, but also the reality and the realness and the authenticness of being a first-gen low-income student of color at a super predominantly white institution. The reason I started was to share those authentic stories and to give opportunities to other disadvantaged students.
Amazing. So everyone here has a different side hustle and or passion project, from being a blogger to a small business owner. So how would you describe the value your project brings to your life, personally or professionally? So Des, you're up first.
So I think that content creating brings a lot of value to my life personally. I started it, like I said, when I was 18. So I was trying to find myself at the time. So it's definitely helped me understand what I like, what it makes me happy, and the process of creating content and everything. And it also kind of helped me understand how I help others, if that makes sense, because I didn't really know how I would help anybody or if what I was doing was going to help anybody. But when they would reach out to me, people would say like, oh my God, your style is inspiring me, or just your personality makes me happy. And I would be like, oh, okay, like that's great. Like I am actually helping people. So that's how it brought me a lot of value. It just helped me find myself and find what I can do for other people. And professionally, it actually helps me, even though content creating what I want to do with my life. It helped me get jobs when I was in college. It's like a huge, huge part of my resume. It actually just showed people a lot of times with jobs, they want to know who you are. And me having a platform about who I am helped them know who I was from the beginning. So it helped me get a lot of opportunities professionally.
Outstanding. No. So I told you probably 100 times over, but I'm obsessed with your Instagram. I think it's so cool how you let people into your daily life and into your closet in some ways, right? Because you're like showcasing your amazing outfits and you're like, get to the store as soon as possible, get your beautiful, beautiful clothes like mine. So I think that's super cool. And then to go off of the brand aspect of it, it gives you so much experience, right? And influencer marketing, which is my job too, right? And we've worked on some campaigns together. So
Yes.
incredible. Kira, what value does your project bring to your life?
Well, Des, that's so amazing. I loved hearing that. For me, Kira Couture, my small business, I've gotten more out of it than I could have ever imagined in just the past year and a half. So, in terms of tangible skills, I've learned so much about just social media marketing and customer service, designing and actually creating the pieces, and all of those small things that I never knew went into owning a small business. In terms of the personal value, Kira Couture has basically become my baby. I've loved just watching it grow and growing with it. It's been so much fun. And I've gotten to connect with so many individuals across the nation who I never otherwise would have gotten to become friends with just because of our shared passion and style. So it's been amazing.
Awesome. So for me, I just think that it's so inspirational that many of you started your side hustles during quarantine because I was watching Netflix. So you guys were light years ahead of me. But for you, Kira, in specific, you started a business with one of the most fashion trends of 2020. I mean, everybody was tie-dyeing everything, myself included. So I think it's super cool how you capitalized on that trend and now you've made it into your own couture line. So incredible job all around.
Thank you.
And Lauren, what about you?
So I think my small business, Lorehead's Handmade Jewelry, has definitely brought value to my life in so many different ways. Professionally, I've really gotten the chance to gain more marketing, merchandising, social media, and sales experience, which is great. You can totally put that on a resume. But on a more personal level, I think it's really been such a great creative outlet. I get to design and make all these fun new pieces, and I get to meet so many new people that, like Kara said before, I wouldn't get to meet normally. And it's really amazing, like making someone happy or making their day by, selling them a fun piece of jewelry or making them a custom order. So overall, I just think the whole process has been really rewarding.
Well, first I have to say happy 1 year of your small business for starters. Everyone, that's incredible, right? And I also have the bracelets that you created for me. I'll show you guys really fast. It says Alexis. There's like these really small, intricate designs of like flowers. It's in my favorite color. I also have this one that says HOXO. Again, this is probably hard to see, but she does this with her hands, guys. Like, what? Are you kidding me? That's insane. That's literally insane. Yusef, flowers, love. Yusef's just dropped in the chat that he needs them. So he'll be your next customer for sure. And last but not least, Yusef, what value does your passion project bring to your life?
I love it. So Yusuf University it's impacted me in so many ways. I just feel like it's work that actually gives me energy. Like a lot of people can't wake up and say that they're doing work that they love to do. And frankly, like it's a value that just keeps giving. Tens of thousands of people like want to listen to me and talk about their experience. And like, just when people get like their decisions from colleges, like, and they text me, I'm just like, why? Like, I feel like I was a part of their journey. Like, and it's just, at the end of the day, I just feel like I've grown in the sense of like being a part of people's journey has really given me aspects and perspectives about my own, and in ways that I would want to just keep empowering myself. And professionally, that has amassed a bunch of opportunities, including launching my own scholarship as a result. And that's just a way that I keep giving back resources, is by just being myself. So I love, just like I said, it's work that keeps giving.
So I think that your entire just like passion project is like light years ahead of anything I would have ever thought of. As a first generation graduate, like I know firsthand the value of going to college and like how much it could like bring to your life and into your career. So it's so cool how you're kind of just like encouraging as many people on your platform to go to college, but also you're saying here's an actual affordable way you can get to school, right? And that's key. So I think that that is super incredible. Again, while you guys were doing these amazing things, I was not, but I commend all of you guys because what's happening here is you're creating a legacy, right? And you're leaving something behind. And that's so valuable, especially at an early age. And again, you guys are light years ahead of that. So I can only imagine what's to come in the future. So with that, I would love to kind of talk about just overall balancing your side hustles, because I know many of you are current college students, which means, you might be balancing academics or your internships, part-time jobs. Lauren, I know, for example, you're also a president of your student org, right? So that's a lot to do. So how do you find the time to work on these amazing passion projects and side hustles with such busy schedules? And what's the best method for carving out your time to do so?
So I think when you have so much going on in your life, it is really, really hard to balance everything. But I truly, truly, truly in my heart believe that you make time for things you want to make time for. So when you have a lot going on, I think that the best way to do it is to honestly plan ahead for every single thing that happens in your life. Like literally every single thing that you do, plan it ahead. It could be, how much time is your homework really going to take you? How much time does it take you to get to work? Do it a little bit before there, like things like that. And also it may take you doing things at inconvenient times. Like sometimes it may take you doing it between work and school. And while that would be your time to rest, you might have to work on your passion project. And if you really want to make time for it, you will. So I think that that's how you make the best time, and truly just planning ahead. I cannot say that enough. Plan it ahead. And I think if you just, plan it into your schedule, you'll do it.
For real. And I'm really gonna, oh, Lauren, go ahead. I was gonna say for real, and I'm really gonna expose myself right now. If my video is off during class, is my ring light on? We don't know. We don't know. But like, if I'm being really honest, like when it comes to internships, working, like being involved in your campus community, because you're paying for that experience, as well as pursuing your passion project, sacrifice. I've had to sacrifice so many things. Sometimes I just can't go out. Sometimes I just can't go to this party, or like during the weekends, I'm doing work for myself rather so than having fun. But in reality, like you're gonna find ways to make that work. Like I'm obsessed with my planner. This is my week, babes. Like it's a lot, but frankly, I also think that if your passion is really something that you want to do, all of those other things are going to align with it. Like all the clubs and organizations I'm a part of in school align very much so with my brand. So like I get experiences and I get stories from that can also make into context. So I also feel like I'm still doing work, but experiencing what I want to while being in college.
I totally agree. Like everyone else, super busy, school, work, life, all that. But I found that I don't really find it hard to find, make sure I have time to do like make jewelry. It's because I want to do it. Like it brings me joy. It makes me happy. So it's not like, oh, I have to make sure I have to go home and make that jewelry order later. It's like, oh, I get to go make jewelry. Yay. Like it's not more so like it's an outlet, it's a way to relax. So like instead of just going home watching Netflix or listening to music, I'll go home and do that, but then I'll also work on orders. So like that's kind of how I find the way to balance it, because it's a way to relax for me. So it seems like less work than it actually is. So
Yeah, I definitely want to echo everyone's points. I completely agree. I think when you're really passionate about something, there will always be time. It's just a matter of prioritizing things. And like Yusuf said, I'm obsessed with my planner. I use it every day and I write out what needs to be done in terms of work and school, and then what I want to get done. And what I've learned is that they're both equally as important, and it's just about finding the time. But it's so rewarding and so worth it.
So I noticed you all kind of had the same themes here about planning things ahead. And I love doing that too. I have to say, planners were the best thing ever created. Like you get to outline your entire day, your week, etc. And then you get to mark things off when you're done, right? So it's about self-validation. You being like, wow, I really did that this week. Like I got so much done. So I think that's super cool. And I also just want to kind of go back on the fact that you talked about it being a reward and being super refreshing, right? Because that's what a side hustle and passion project is about. It's about being able to step away from the things that are kind of challenging and hard and being able to put some more time into something that makes you feel good, right? So I love all of that. But I think for a second here, I would love to also be real with the audience, because side hustles are not easy to start. And it's not something that can take off overnight. But let's be honest, right? It's really, really worth it. So tell me a time when you had to face a really big challenge in your passion project and how you addressed it, or are you currently working to address it?
I can start. So this might be a little bit dumb, but a challenge that I faced when I first started selling stuff was figuring out the best way to ship them to customers because, post office can be a little confusing. It can be a little intimidating if you're not used to going. And people might not realize this, but shipping stuff gets super expensive. And that's a lot to take into account when like you're trying to make money off of your passion. So when I first started, I came to the stark realization that even though I was selling, just a little bracelet, necklace, like super light, super small, it would still cost $5 to ship it somewhere. And I had to, take that into account when like pricing things. So once I got that figured out and could then price things accordingly, it was all good. But I think advice for someone starting off with a small business, make sure you have your shipping costs and calculations down before you price your items.
I love that you're being real and like you said, be real, because honestly, that's so true. Like there is so many problems and challenges that come up. And I think that sometimes we don't really talk about it all the time. We talk about the side hustle, but I think that it definitely needs to be talked about. So for me, my biggest issue, honestly, was when it comes to creating content, you're supposed to be consistent. And consistent in the sense of posting all the time, but also consistent in the sense of like what you're actually posting. Like people kind of want to see similar to like the same thing, the same brand. And for me, because I started at 18, 18, 19, 20, 21 are your times, but you're consistently changing. You might wake up and be a different person like the next day, because something happened the day before that just made you different. So I would literally like feel like I wanted to do something and then I would be like, I don't want to do that anymore. That's not me. Like I would be like, I want to try and be edgy and dark. I'm not edgy and dark. Why would I try that? But it's like, I'm trying to figure myself out. So while figuring yourself out in front of the camera can be really, really rewarding, it can also be a downfall because I've changed so much. And I think that that has sometimes caused me to lose followers because I'm not the same person that I was when you first followed me. I'm not, I'm sorry. But some people, they stay with me and some people they don't. And I think that that's kind of the beauty in it. I think it's cool that I find joy in the fact that people are still here with me and they've seen me change and they've seen me do different things. And yeah, but that was a really big challenge for me, like just changing. And I'm still changing. Sometimes I say I'm gonna do something and then I'm like, I'm not gonna do that anymore. I don't want to do it anymore. Yeah, so I think that's my biggest challenge, honestly.
Des, you got it right on the nose for me as well, sis. Because like again, like I do feel like I changed a lot and I'm growing as with my account. However, I think the biggest challenge for me is that people are watching that growth always. Like I always feel like I have eyes on me, and like my anxiety really was really bad when I first went to school. People were literally coming up to me on campus, like talking about like certain TikToks, like things they've seen of me. And I'm just like, I'm here. And I thought this was going to be like a new canvas for me. Like I was going to have an amazing time and I was going to build like these new experiences while being myself. But like everyone kind of knows like these random and like different things about me that it's like when I introduce myself, I think I'm talking to like somebody new, but they may know my entire life story. So like I feel like that definitely is like the biggest difficulty. But if I'm being real, like that anxiety took over in a lot of different ways. In my winter quarter, like nobody saw me on campus. Like I just didn't want to go out anymore. Like I was in my bed. I just did my classes. Nobody saw me on my platforms as well. And going to your point, Des, like about consistency, I was gone for 2 months. Like nobody saw me on any social media. And then by the time that like I felt like I was ready to just like hang out with my friends again and like be outside, somebody saw me and the first comment was, "Oh my God, like Yusuf, I haven't seen you in a while. I even checked your TikTok to see if you were okay." And then that just like spiraled me back down. Just like, why do I feel like I have so many eyes on me? And like now I've like taken that into my narrative and I've tried to reclaim that in the sense of people are watching me, but people are gonna watch me go off, and I'm just gonna keep going off in ways that are is authentic to me, and I'm gonna grow in that same way. So taking things with strides.
You can't be ashamed of it. Like, you're gonna be a different person.
Period.
That's okay. Like, you're literally gonna change. I used to be so ashamed, like, oh my God, I said I was gonna do that, but I'm not. But then I'll be honest, I'm like, I didn't do it because I didn't want to, guys. I just didn't want to do it anymore. It's not me.
Exactly. Exactly. I love you.
Yes, being honest, being authentic is key. Just be honest.
Thank you. Oh, your advice unmatched.
I love that realness, and I definitely relate to all three of those experiences for sure. For me, I found it super easy to doubt myself in the beginning and feel like I was putting in so much work and time, and it sometimes felt like it was towards nothing if the growth wasn't immediate or if I didn't feel like I was targeting the right customers, things like that. But I quickly learned that I was doing it for me and I loved what I was doing. I found so much joy in it. And when I just stuck to the reason I started Kira Couture in the first place, that's when the followers came and the platform grew. And another thing that I really learned is not to compare myself to other people, especially online in the world of Instagram storefronts. Kira Couture is completely an Instagram run business. I think it can be really easy to see another profile that may be growing faster or doing something differently than you and to have that self-doubt. But it's so important to just stick to yourself and why you chose to start.
Kira, yes. Yes. One advice that I just want to give to everybody that has a side hustle is to create more than you consume. That is the biggest lesson I have learned as a content creator. Create something, anything more than you consume things on social media, whether it's businesses. Like, don't look at other people's stuff more than you actually focus and grow your own.
So Des, you actually got ahead of me because that was literally my next question, which was there's so many people out here, watching and really trying to figure out like, okay, well, Lauren and Yusef and Des and Kira have these awesome side hustles. Like, where do I start? So what is your advice to someone who wants to pursue a passion project, but can't really find the time or thinks that they can't find the time to do so?
My biggest advice, like I said, would be to create more than you consume, but also to be yourself, and do it for the right reasons. Please, for God's sakes, do it for the right reasons, because when you get to that point where you don't want to do it anymore, and that, like Kira said, your purpose and the reason why you're doing it will continuously push you forward. So if you have a reason that's bigger than money and that's bigger than a materialistic things, I know a lot of people when it comes to content creating, they say they want to get free stuff. Like, that's why they want to be influencer, content creator, blogger, whatever you want to call it. But if that's your reasoning behind doing it, you're not going to get free stuff for a long time. You're gonna have to keep going without nothing and putting your own money into it before you get anything back. So your purpose is so important. Have a purpose and continue to have fun with it. Continue to love it all the time.
I absolutely agree. And I kind of touched on this a little bit before, but like if it's your passion, I think it's really important to align everything around you with it first before you jump into that business or content creating or anything like that. When I built my own student-led higher education advocacy program, like I was in those type of programs prior to that. I was doing case studies with real professors and like figuring out how much I actually knew about this college process before I was telling people to take my advice. So, in other ways, I've seen that align. Like now I have jobs, now I have internships that are just so niche to exactly what I'm doing. And you're gonna know that everything's aligned when like you get a brand deal and it just fits so perfectly with your mission now. Like everything that I collaborate or any partners that I have just fit so perfectly within my platform now because I'm very, again, authentic to that niche, like Des was saying. I just want to echo the +1. Please don't do it for free stuff or for brand deals. I still get excited every single time I get a brand deal, but I only do it if it really aligns with my passion and my platform because I want to stay real and stay authentic.
I love that. I think it's so important to stay true to yourself and your passion. And I think to anyone, like even remotely thinking about starting that passion project, starting that side hustle or small business, I say just do it, because if it makes you happy, if it brings you joy, then you should be doing it. If it's like, you should be sharing your ideas, your products, designs, whatever it is you have to share with the world, you should be sharing it because it's probably amazing. So you should just take the leap and do it. No better time like the present.
I absolutely agree with that. To just take the leap and get started. I think a lot of people are usually waiting for the right time or the right moment when they're less busy. But the truth really is there's no better time than right now. There will never be that perfect time. And like we said before, it's about making your passions work and finding the time for them. So don't hesitate and just get into it.
Kira and Lauren just reminded me of a really cool quote. I remember reading this and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna go off now. It was like the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, and then the second best time is today. So get on it.
Okay, I literally am putting that on like the top of my wall and like where my desk area is because hashtag what? Like that's genius. And to all of your points, right? There is no better time than now. I think even when I was in school and I had like a little mini blog, I was telling my friends and they were like, Alexis, you talk about it a lot, but we don't actually see you doing it. And I was like, wait, you actually have a point because the more I talk about it and not actually put work into it, nothing happens, right? So I think it's really, really important for you to talk about it, dream it, and then start to vision it because at that point it's like now we're going right now it's starting. So that's super important. And then also just being authentic, right? So Yusef and Des, again, when you have a platform, you shouldn't just do things because it seems cool or right for the moment. Do it because you want to and it feels good for your platform and who you are, and not for any monetary needs or, free products, because at the end of the day, does that really provide value? Not so much, right? So that's all super, super important. With that, there's no better way to end this session. Thank you all so much again for joining us today and sharing your passion projects and side hustles. Remember, it's so important to carve out time to pursue our passion projects, whether it's a side hustle or fun hobby. And never forget that the value of making time for ourselves and what we care about in a busy week or semester is super, super important. Don't forget to go to orientationweek.hercampus.com to check out all of the content from this week and learn more about what we did this orientation week. And use the hashtag orientationweek21 on socials because we would love to see your content. Until next time, bye.